Welcome to Murder and Mystery with Mal. In today's episode, we're going back more than 200 years to the Spanish colonial period in the Philippines to revisit the chilling story of a man who has been described as the country's very first serial killer. His name was Juan Severino Mallari, a Catholic priest whose life, crimes, and downfall reveal a disturbing intersection of faith, fear, and mental illness. Juan Severino Mallari was born in Pampanga in the late 1700s into a Kapampangan family that valued education and religion. From an early age, he was set on a path toward the priesthood. In colonial Philippines, priests were some of the most powerful figures in local communities. They weren't just spiritual leaders, they were educators, record keepers, and sometimes even political authorities. To be a priest in those days meant carrying tremendous respect. Mallari studied and trained, eventually becoming a parish priest in the town of Magalang, Pampanga. Outwardly, he fulfilled the role of a spiritual leader, but privately, he carried heavy personal struggles. Historical accounts suggest that Mallari believed he was under a kind of curse, a force that brought misfortune not only to himself, but also to his family. And tragically, he convinced himself that the only way to lift this curse was by taking human lives. This belief drove him into a dark compulsion. Over the course of many years, Mallari is said to have killed as many as 50 people. The victims were not widely documented, but historians note that they were ordinary townspeople, men, women, and possibly even those who trusted him as their priest. For a long time, Mallari was able to carry on without suspicion. This was partly due to the position he held. In a deeply Catholic society, a priest was almost untouchable. And the idea that the man of God could commit such acts was unthinkable. But eventually, suspicions grew too strong to ignore. Murmurs spread in his community and investigations began. When Mallari was finally arrested, reports say that he confessed to the killings. His reasoning was tied to the curse he believed plagued his family. In modern times, his state of mind might have been understood as a form of severe mental illness, but in the 1800s, the language and medical understanding simply weren't there. Instead, the Spanish colonial authorities treated his crimes as both a spiritual and criminal offense. Unlike some criminals of the time who were executed swiftly, Mallari was imprisoned. He spent 14 years behind bars, in his case a mixture of scandal and secrecy in the colonial records. Ultimately, he was executed in 1840, closing the chapter on what remains one of the most haunting cases in Philippine history. What makes Mallari's story so unsettling is not only the scale of his crimes, but the role he played in society. As a priest, he was supposed to embody trust, compassion, and faith, yet beneath that cloak of authority, he carried out acts that shocked his community. His story is often retold not just as true crime, but as a cautionary tale about unchecked power, untreated mental illness, and the dangers of blind trust. Today, his case is remembered by historians, crime writers, and cultural scholars. Some even point to him as one of the earliest recorded serial killers in Southeast Asia, not just the Philippines. In Pampanga, the story of Juan Severino Mallari lingers like a ghost of the past, a reminder that history often hides dark secrets behind familiar faces. And that's it for today's episode, the haunting story of Father Juan Severino Mallari. Crazy to think how much history can hide behind the walls of a small town parish, right? Stick around for the next one, where we'll dive into another case that will make you rethink the way you see justice and mystery in the Philippines. I'm Mal, and this has been Murder and Mystery. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and of course, stay safe. Bye.